motherfucking priest. Yeah. The word we teach from the west to the south to the north to the east. Yeah. Got all my eyes with me. Posting my echo piece. Sipping the song with beats. Soldiers, we all in the streets. Young nigga preach. Bury me a motherfucking priest. Yeah. The word we teach from the west to the south to the north to the east. Yeah. Got all my eyes with me. Posting my echo piece. Sipping the song with beats. Soldiers, we all in the streets. When will they bury me? No willing I be a priest. Till I my eyes on the team. UPK know what I mean. We get inside by police. We dying off in the streets. My people killing to eat. Stealing it ain't no peace. Teaching we setting zones. Devil just leave me alone. Jenna Johanna then gave me a home. I put in work for the throne. I wish you across the line. Please let me take ground. Won't fresh spray ground. Won't ready stand down. Young nigga preach. Bury me a motherfucking priest. Yeah. The word we teach from the west to the south to the north to the east. Yeah. Got all my eyes with me. Posted your more echo piece. Sipping the song with these. Soldiers, we all in the streets. Young nigga preach. Bury me a motherfucking priest. Yeah. The word we teach from the west to the south to the north to the east. Yeah. Got all my eyes with me. Posted your more echo piece. Sipping the song with these. Soldiers, we all in the streets.
Shalom Israel, you know what it do. About to get started. You know what it is. Bury me a motherfucking priest.
Young nigga preach. Bury me a motherfucking priest. Yeah. The word we teach from the west to the south to the north to the east. Yeah. Got all my eyes with me. Posted some more echo piece. Sipping the song with these. Soldiers, we all in the street. Young nigga preach. Bury me a motherfucking.
All right. You know what it is. Take Ground Radio. Take Ground Breakdowns. You know how we get down. All right. Let's get this, get it going. Get the situation going. Shalom Israel. Hey, Shalom Israel. This is Take Ground Radio. Matrix Sessions. Take Ground Breakdowns. You know what it is. You understand? Wake up from the Matrix. Get right with the Most High. Israelite School of UPK. Under Commander Jenna Johanna. All that good stuff. That's what this is. You understand? We do these 10 p.m. Today we had a late start. 10 p.m. You understand? We're going to be changing up soon. Soon it's going to be 10. It's going to be some different times changes. You know what I mean? Because we soon going to be doing the Kentucky 8 radio. A Kentucky 8 podcast. I mean, we're going to be doing the Kentucky 8 podcast here soon. Do this. So that's what it is. So you know what we do. It's Captain Kaposh. You can follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at ISUPK_/Naptown. Relationship. You understand? Relationship stuff. You know what I mean? Type in your questions. We good. It said, as a trooper/young man, do we get in the kingdom as well as other men in the UPK serving the men above us? That's a good question. All right, give me 1 second. We're going to answer that question. Okay, give me 1 second. We're going to answer that question all the way. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that share button. free advertising. It might save somebody's life. Share the truth so brothers can learn. Okay. We're gonna get that brother's question in a sec. Hey, wife in possession of priest officer 1000 Habanah. No Habanah running his game tight. You understand? He running his game tight. All right, everybody tuning in. I'm glad to see everybody tuning in. Our warrior Allah, Shalom Warrior, Albuquerque in the building. You know what I mean? Shalom George Sanders, y'all Lord Christ. All right, we in the game. We already started. Okay, I'm gonna share it around a little bit more. Give me 1 second, and we're gonna start with the brother's first question. We're gonna get into relationship advice, Israelite style. You know what I mean? Israelite culture. Because if you ain't doing it this the way the Israelite culture, what are you doing? You know what I mean? You're basically following the white man's culture if you're not doing Israelite culture. And you know, who wants to follow that? That's then led us astray. If the blind lead the blind, they both will fall into a ditch. So it does no good to follow the oppressor's culture. Okay, it does us no good. It has not helped us one bit. Okay. So what do? You learn Israelite culture. You learn the ways of the Most High. You learn the way our ancestors did it according to the Lord. The laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. That's what you got to learn. That's what matters first and foremost. All right. Let me keep sharing it a little bit and we'll be back at it. Okay. All right. We in the game. So what do you do? So the brother's first question in the quest for the ultimate truth and for the ways of the Most High and for the ways of the Lord, not following this white man's ways. Kodak asks, as a trooper / young man, let's start there. There's no such thing as a trooper / young man. That right there lets me know that there's some lukewarmness going on. Okay? Lukewarm. Let me get the scriptures about that. Brothers and sisters, you do not want to be lukewarm. That is a sin. Not a sin, but it is damn near worse than sin when it comes to the truth. Because Christ said this. Revelations 3:15. I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. I would thou wert cold or hot. You're not cold or hot. Are you a young man or a trooper? You're neither a young man or a trooper. You're not cold or hot. Okay? He says, I would thou wert cold or hot. He says, you're neither one of those. But Christ would rather you be either cold or hot. Means you out or you're all the way in. So then because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. You understand? Christ is going to spew you out of his mouth because you're not cold nor hot. You're not a trooper. You're not a young man. you're a trooper slash young man. That's a problem. That's a problem. So let's get the rest of the question. Do we get in the kingdom as well as other men in the UPK serving the men above us? So you're basically saying, do you get in the kingdom because you're a trooper slash young man? You won't get in the kingdom being lukewarm. I'm going to tell you that for a fact. You understand? You will not get in the kingdom in this life being lukewarm. Maybe when you die and be born again as a baby, not knowing nothing of your former life, you get in the kingdom that way. But brothers who in the truth, if you die in the truth, guess what? When you wake up out the grave, still the same person in the kingdom when Christ returns. So you ain't gotta be coming back as a baby. You're gonna come back as you, with the same, as you are, with the new bodies. That's what you want. That's the ultimate. That's the prize you want. You don't want to come back as a baby. Okay. So to answer your question, you won't get in the kingdom being lukewarm. All right. Or you may get in the kingdom, but as a baby. All right. So you don't want to be a trooper slash young man. You want to be a trooper, an 100% trooper, or 100% young man. You can't be 100% young man for long. The Lord requires you to grow up. And at the end of the day, brothers and sisters, you are required to mature in the truth. You're not required. You cannot come in the truth and be stagnant and be lukewarm, which is basically being stagnant. You have to be on fire or on ice. But you cannot be both. You cannot be lukewarm in the middle. All right, not according to Christ. He's going to spew you out if you like that. All right. So that's a great question. Definitely, like, you a trooper slash young man. You just need to stop being both and become an officer. All right. You need to be working to get that officer's test. You should be trying to get that officer's test so you can get to that next level. Let's get the next question in. How do you lead a woman who has children prior to you laying with her? So you get with a woman, she already has children. So and the question is, how do you lead that situation? All right, how do you lead that situation? All right. Okay, with that situation, when you're dealing with a woman who already has children, you have to understand one thing. Numero uno. That though you cannot replace the father of those children, you cannot become the father of those children. They already have a father. You have to understand that off top. You're marrying that woman. Those kids are not your children. You are not their father. They have a real father who is the same bloodline and descendant that they come from. So that's what you want to understand first. You don't want to come in the situation trying to be the father. Like, oh, their father abandoned them. I'm going to be their real dad. I'm going to be their dad. They're going to know. They're going to call me dad. That's a fool's mission. That's a fool's mission. You can never really replace. That's not your children, that's not your blood. So don't try to do that, first and foremost. Secondly, understanding that you cannot replace being the father. That's how you got to move. You got to lead that woman, and she's going to have to lead those children. You cannot lead those children as if they were yours. I give you my example. An example, if you were the biological father. If you were the biological father, you have certain rights of those children. Those are your children. So nobody else can tell you about your children. You are the father. So if you decide they're going to do this, do that, or they're not going to celebrate this and not going to celebrate that, which is in Israelite culture is a big deal about celebrating Easter and Thanksgiving and Halloween and Christmas and birthdays and New Year's. You make that decision. I do not want my children celebrating that garbage. Those are your children. You have the rights in front of God and man to make that decision for those children. Even if the mother agrees with it or not, you have the right to make that choice for them children. And if the mother goes against your will, any evil thing that happens to them children because they celebrating those things is on the mother. And you tell her that. You say, I forbid my children from celebrating birthdays and Christmas and New Year's. And if that mother still, you are 100% in charge. If that mother decides to go against what you said, the Lord will punish her for that. Lord will punish her and those children. Either them children will follow their father's wishes, or the Lord will punish them children too. Or the Lord will punish the mother, and the children will see the Lord's punishment and learn. But you have 100% right in there, and the Lord backs you up on that because those are your biological children. You have rights over those children. Now, if you're dealing with a woman who already has children and they're not yours, you have absolutely zero rights. I don't care if you housing them children, you feeding them children, none of that. You don't have no right over them children. You have rights over that woman that you're sleeping with, and she has rights over them children. But you will have to teach and guide that woman, and she will have to teach and guide those children. You cannot jump in and, as like if you're the father, even if the woman is the wife is against it, you can still use your fatherly rights on those children. You can't do that if you a stepdad. You can't do that. There's nothing for you. There's nothing for you there. There's absolutely nothing for you. So if you're dealing with a woman, a single mother or whatnot, and she has children prior to you, hence her being a single mother, that's a problem. You're going to have to focus on leading and guiding that woman, not the children. That woman is going to have to take what she learns from you and apply it to her children. To her children, not yours, not y'all's. It's not our children. It's her children. And if her children don't follow, even if her children don't listen to her, that ain't got nothing to do with you. Your only focus is to guide and raise up that woman. And you're going to have to, you can't whip them kids. You whip them kids, and if the father has a problem with it, now you're going to have a problem. You're going to have to teach that woman, and she's going to have to teach some children off of what you're teaching her, which means she's going to have to be a good follower, a good wife to learn from you. And that's not hard. That's not easy to find. I don't know if you have that or not. Is she willing to disappoint them children because of what you say? children want birthday parties. They want birthday gifts. They want Christmas gifts. Is she willing to stop that because of you? That's what the type of woman you chose is what type of fight and success you're gonna have. Some of you got a woman that ain't gonna listen. Some of you got a woman on your side that you sleeping with every night that could care less about this Israelite shit. Israelite culture, Israelite doctrine, Israelite law, they can care less. Some of you got a woman like that. And if you do, you basically fill in the blanks. You got an uphill battle. You have an uphill battle. It's an uphill battle for a woman who's basically going to try to say she's going to follow you, let alone, a woman who's half and half or just wants to be with you for your ride. A lot of women just want to be with a man just because he got a thing between his legs and they need that. They want that. They thirsting for it and hungering for it and quenching for it. So that's what the reason they're with you. But they're not willing to give up Christmas for you or New Year's. That's the woman you chose to lay with. And you're going to have to go through the fire about her. And now if she leaves you, then you're free of her. You're free of her. You can get you a better woman. A woman that will follow you, will get rid of Christmas for you, will get rid of New Year's for you. There's plenty of them out there. You know how many women want a husband right now? You know how many single broads is out there right now? And the clubs are shut down. Going out is pretty much shut down. Girls' night out, all that's done with. You know how many women is out there wishing they had a man? They're gonna let you move in, drive their car, and all that. You know how many women there is like that right now? So if that woman don't want to get down with the Israelite program, you know what I mean? You ain't gotta worry. She ain't gotta worry either. Okay? You still teach her regardless. And if she follows and does what you say, and this is what you tell her, you say the Lord is against you for that. The Lord is against that. If you do that, the Lord is going to punish you. Simple as that. If that woman has them not your children, or them is your children, either way, you tell her, nah, my children ain't doing no Christmas and no Halloween and all that pagan shit. And she has them do it anyway. You say, look, if anything bad or wicked or evil happens to them children because they did that, it's on you. It's on your conscience. Their blood is on your hands, not on mine. Not on my hands. I told them to follow the Lord. They decided to not follow the Lord. See, and that's the heartbreaker about children. You know what I mean? You raise them up. You with them all the time. You with them every day. You only have a few children nowadays anyway. You know, you love them so much. You hate to see them be failures. But at the same time, you don't want to discipline them with the law, statutes, and commandments. You don't want to deny their Christmas lust or their New Year's lusts. You don't want to deny that, but you love these children so much, you're not doing what it takes to protect them. And if you really want to protect them, you would warn them. You would warn them. you would warn them.
Yeah. The word we teach from the west to the south to the north to the east. Yeah. God on my eyes with me. Posted your my echo peace. Sipping the stronger with these. Soldiers be out in these streets. Young nigga preach. Bury me a motherfucking priest. Yeah. The word we teach from the west to the south to the north to the east. Yeah. God on my
Okay.
eyes with me. Posted your my echo peace. Sipping the stronger with these. Soldiers be
Sign
out in these
Christ.
streets.
He said Kana Wakana, which means sir, yes, sir, in the Hebrew for all any people who are watching who are not familiar with Hebrew and of the Israelite culture. All right. Shalom, Lord Christ, sister. Glad you can make it again. Shalom, Lord Christ, Rahawar. Yeah, Lord Christ. It's like I will give you full salute. Yeah, how about Shimmy al Shabrakatha?
I wish you across the line. Please let me take her. Won't fresh spray brown. Won't
Okay.
stand down. Young nigga preach. Bury me a motherfucking priest. Yeah. The word we teach from the west to the south to the north to the east. Yeah. God on my eyes with me. This is my echo piece.
See the truth of the matter is nothing comes before the Lord. Shalom, Lord Christ, Trooper Garam in the room. Nothing comes before the Most High. Nothing. Even your children, they don't come before the Most High. And that's hard for most people to believe. That's hard for most people to swallow. Most people will put their children as the number one priority above all. How they say it in the world? God, family, guns. And yes, Gabar, we are taking questions. He said he's a young man in the school. Yes, we are taking questions. We just answered a few other questions above. Like I said, this is late night relationship advice. Relationships between you, your woman, your children, your grandparents, your mother, your father, your cousin, and them, TT and them, Nuck Nuck, Buck Buck, Peanut, Boogie, Pooh, any cousins you got. You understand? Because at the end of the day, the Most High comes first. All right, so we are taking questions. If anybody has any questions, definitely type them in. All right, if anybody has any questions, definitely type them in. All right, any relationship advice questions? But let's get into it. Tonight we're gonna talk about money. All right, we're gonna talk about money. One of the number one reasons why marriages fail is about money. In Israelite culture, all money and property belongs to the husband. I don't care if he a bum on the streets and his wife that he slept with, and she whatever she has belongs to the husband. Israelite culture is a patriarchal society, which means men run the society. The fathers run the society. I know in America, women run things. Everybody looks to grandmama for leadership and direction. It's not Israelite culture. Not saying that a grandmother cannot give leadership or give not leadership or give direction. Not saying that a grandmother can't, you know, you know, guide people in the ways of the Most High or guide her family. But Israelite culture, the men run the show. All right. So a woman and all the woman's money belongs to the man. So yes, in this kingdom, stimulus checks are going to women, but that money belongs to that man. Now, obviously, you're supposed to have a relationship, and the scripture says that a man love his wife the same way Christ loved the church. Christ never neglected the church. Christ never gave up on the church. Christ never abandoned the church. Christ never took all the money from the church and spent it on his fucking self. So that should not be expected in Israelite culture. Even though all the money belongs to the man and he decides what to do with it, he is supposed to decide like Christ would decide what to do with it. All right. And when Christ ran the church, he gave to every man and every woman and every child what they needed. So even though the man is in charge of all the money, as a man, you're supposed to give to everybody what they need. So yeah, all that money that your woman has belongs to you, but you have to decide righteously what she needs. The problem in this society is you got one woman who got 50 pairs of shoes. Did she need 50 pairs of shoes? No one person needs 50 pairs of shoes. I don't give a damn who you are, what you do. You do not need 50. Okay? So, it's not unlawful, but as a man, if you run in your household, it may not be profitable for your woman to be out buying 50 tons of pairs of shoes. 50 is a kind of high, exaggerated number, but even 15, 20 pairs of shoes is a lot, to be honest. You know what I mean? A person, you decide what your woman need depending on what she do. But, a good amount of pair of shoes is fine, and then you move on. You know what I mean? You move on and do other things. So let's get this question. Brother Gabar, for the Most High, I believe that's what his handle means, 4TMH, said, Khan, sir, I need advice on my situation. Okay. I have a woman that supposedly pregnant with my child. That's a problem right there. Because you had to say supposedly, which kind of implies that there's some doubt. Which means the time of inception when you were sleeping with her, possibly somebody else was sleeping with her. That's a huge problem in Israelite culture. That is death penalty offense in Israelite culture. For a man to sleep with another man's woman, or a woman to be sleeping with more than one man at the same time. Sex is marriage in Israelite culture. So this type of things would not happen in Israelite culture because a woman would not dare be sleeping with more than one man in a man's lifetime. In Israelite culture, marriage is for life. So let's get the rest of the question. I have a woman that's supposedly pregnant with my child, and I'm not with her because she's of African descent. Salakia, sir. You know, Salakia to me. You understand? You know, but definitely, I hear you. I hear your question. Okay. If you could, warrior, what city and state are you in? Because I'm gonna give you some counsel, but I just want to know who I'm giving the counsel to and who's your camp leader. So I'm not, I don't want to be overstepping my bounds or whatnot. If you can type in what city and state you in, that would be helpful. But I'm gonna just answer the question in a broad sense, a general sense, not not being specific to your situation, but in a broad sense. You know what I mean? Obviously, you may have some details that can change the council, but Chicago, Gary. Are you in Chicago or are you in Gary, Indiana? Are you in Illinois or in Indiana? Because if you're in Indiana, you would definitely gonna get your question answered from me, because I'm over Indiana and Gary, Indiana. But if you live in Chicago, Illinois, you are under Captain Mawquad, who's specifically over that Chicago area. He's over the whole Midwest, but definitely he would deal with that. And I give counsel, but I would also know that you may want to run it by Captain Mawquad. Okay, you're in Gary, Indiana. Okay, so this is perfect. All right, this is perfect because I'm over Indiana, so I would be the one to answer the question for anyway. You go to Chicago, but I go to Chicago school for months now. That's great. That's fine. That's fine. It's just the way this is laid out. You got to go to the Chicago school to get the knowledge because you're hours away from Indianapolis school, but you're in the state of Indiana. So it's just a jurisdictional thing. You're still going to get knowledge, but you're in Gary, Indiana, which is my zone. But you get the knowledge. Look, I was in Indianapolis listening to classes from Harlem. You know, so it's good. Go to the Chicago school to get the knowledge, to grow in the truth, so you can make a school in Gary, and then people gonna do what? Go to Gary for school soon, because they're gonna have a school. We're gonna have a school in Gary. Brother's gonna go to Gary for school that live in Gary. So let's get to the question. So you say you're not with her because she's of African descent. Let's start with that. You cannot divorce a woman that you've been sleeping with because you learned the truth that you're not supposed to be sleeping with her in the first place. Let me break that down. You're in a relationship sleeping with a white woman. Let's say it's a white woman. Excuse me. You learn the truth that we're not supposed to be sleeping with women of other races. Okay? But you have been sleeping with this white woman for the last 8 months or whatnot, or however long. You cannot divorce and leave that white woman because you learned the truth that you were not supposed to be with her to begin with. The scripture says, what the Lord had put together, let no man put aside, let no man bring not that scripture. That's not a good scripture. There's no divorce besides adultery or fornication. So you cannot leave that woman. That African woman, unless she slept with another man and you have some type of proof of it, or you willing to bring her before the priest and to bring your evidence before the priest so the priest can make a decision, that is still your wife. It's still your rib. That's still yours. Until you bring her before the priest, or you come before the priest and you bring your evidence. And we would do this in private. We wouldn't do it over the Take Ground radio air. Okay, the brother said she slept with another man. And you know this You know this, sound like you saying you know this for a fact. If you know this for a fact, that is no longer your woman, and you're going to have to find out through DNA testing if that is your son. Now, back in the day, we didn't have DNA testing, so how would we tell if that was your son? You would bring that baby and that woman and the two men in question before the priest, and some heads are going to get chopped off. But for this scenario, we're not chopping off no heads, but we will. But the priest can decide whose child that is. All right. So what you would have to do first, the child has to be born. And when the child is born, you got to see that child in person. You have to see that child in person. Don't sign birth certificates. In Israelite culture, we do not sign birth certificates. Okay? So don't sign a birth certificate. If you think that child is yours, then you could tell her what you want to name the child, and she could listen to you or not. That's just the way the system runs out in this kingdom. So she either named the child whatever she want to name him, or what you decide to name him. Or if that other man shows up and he says the name, she gets the ultimate decision of who the name, but you get the ultimate decision if you're going to sign off on that. And in Israelite culture, we don't sign birth certificates. If it's your son, it's your son. If it's your child, it's your child. It don't matter what a birth certificate say. And this kingdom also likes to use birth certificates and who signed it to impose or superimpose child support on people that don't even want it. But just because your name is there, they may impose it on your family. We don't go for that. Okay, so we don't sign birth certificates for that and for other reasons. Bam. So you don't sign it. You're gonna have to see the child, and you're gonna have to look at it and examine the child. Okay, if you feel there's a connection and she's telling you, it's between you and another man, you will get a DNA test. DNA tests are not unlawful in Israelite culture. Okay? DNA tests are not unlawful. I just had a child recently. If that child would have came out looking like the goddamn mailman, you best believe I'm getting a DNA test. That child don't come out looking like me or a mixture of me and her. It look like the mailman. It's gonna be some DNA tests. Them things, DNA tests is about $120. You're gonna have to put that money up and get that DNA test, so you can know for a fact if that's your child or not. Now, let's say it is your child, and that's an African woman. She slept with another man. She's with another man. In Israelite culture, we're gonna go and get our child from that African if we can help it. You understand? We will fight for custody. In Israelite culture, it is not a sin to fight for custody. For the man to fight for custody and take custody. Now, obviously, maybe the first 3 or 4 months, you might not want to get the custody then, because she got to breastfeed the child, wean the child, raise the child up. But once the child gets to a certain age, it is not unlawful to get custody, full custody of that child. Or even if you have to co-parent and get half custody. You may have to get in them courtrooms, put up money, so you can that child can, so you can be influenced over that child. Now let's say you can't get none of that going. She throw you on child support. She run away to another state or another country. She take him back to Mother Africa or to some other state, and you can't get nothing through. And she got you on child support. You're gonna have to tell her, child, look, if you put me on child support, I'm never coming to see that child. It's either you have me and my resources, or you just have my resources through child support. That's Israelite culture. We do not play with about child support. We do not accept somebody putting us on it. If you put us on it, it's going to be serious repercussions. All right, we are not going to be out there raising a child, picking them up from school, and doing this and that, and be on child support at the same time. No siree. It's no child support, and you'll have the money because I want to take care of my own child. So you'll have money, and I'll be in the child's life. But if it's child support, you're just gonna have money. You're not gonna have me in the child's life, and that child gonna have to come see you when they get older, which is super hard to do. But you don't have no choice. You know what I mean? Lord will, something happens, and you can get custody of that child, but you might have to fight through the courts. Don't be like these cats in the world. Baby, how you gonna do me like that? How you gonna keep me from my child? You make a YouTube video and a recording about it, crying. Oh, look how my baby mama do me. I be buying the baby gifts, and the baby mama, look how she doing me. Oh, no. You gonna get in them courts, and you're gonna have to fight through the court system. You have rights as a father. All right. Let's see what else the brother said. He had some more things to add to it. Brother said, Salaki, sir, if I could add, she said for sure it's mine, but she found another man after I rejected her. Okay. She said, so let's get to first parts first. She said for sure it's yours. I wouldn't, me personally, I wouldn't believe that. She's been sleeping with another man. She doesn't know who the father is. And until the baby comes out and you take a DNA test, if there's any question, there's a question, and you have to get that settled first. DNA test first. Now, if the baby come out and the baby look just like you, got your same, birthmark or so, your same family traits about you, your nose is as big as hell and the baby nose big as hell, then come on now, you're gonna be able to tell, look, that's yours. But if the baby come out and it could look like it could be anybody's, and you can't go off of what she say. She's saying she knows yours because she knows she's gonna put you on child support and be sleeping with another nigga while you paying for all the bills. That's why she's saying that. Probably because the new man ain't gonna be as solid as you. So she want to make sure you in pocket while this new man is breaking her back. So I wouldn't go off of her. Like I said, if the baby hasn't been born yet, you gotta take a look at it. But I pretty much walk down what you want to do. You want to look at it. If it don't look the part, if it don't look like it's a mixture of you and her, and you can't tell for certain, get a DNA test. All right. You want to, and it'd be helpful if you know what the other guy looks like. If it's questionable between you and another guy, what does he look like? Dark skin, you light skin, and she light skin. Baby come out dark skin, it's a problem. Baby come out blonde hair and blue eyes, it's a problem. That ain't your baby. That's the mailman's baby. That's the milkman's baby. All right. Brother said, I don't believe it either, sir. That's why I need counseling. Yeah. But you're going to have to wait till the child is born. All right, let's get it in the scriptures. We're gonna get it in the scriptures. All right. All right. We're going to get Numbers chapter 5, verse 14. Uncover my head like a real priest supposed to do. Numbers chapter 5. All right, verse 12. Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, if any man's wife go aside and commit a trespass against him, your situation, and a man lie with her carnally, so another man lied with her carnally, and it be hid from the eyes of her husband. It was hid from you. You don't know for sure about this baby. And be kept close, and she be defiled. So she kept it close, didn't tell nobody. And there be no witness against her, neither she be taken with the man, neither she be taken with the manner. So nobody found out or have the proof that during this time she slept with another man or not. And the spirit of jealousy come upon him. That's what happened. The spirit of jealousy. All right, which basically is you don't think that's yours. And he be jealous of his wife, and she be defiled. So he's sitting here thinking like, man, I think this woman whored on me. I really feel it in my spirit. I have a spirit of jealousy on me. Or if the spirit of jealousy come upon him and he be jealous of his wife and she be not defiled. So either you have these suspicions, she did, and you don't know. She either done it or she didn't. But you don't know. But you have the spirit of jealousy on you to where you have suspicions. Okay? And obviously she's not telling, because if she didn't do it, she's not saying nothing. If she did do it, she's still not saying nothing. Verse 15. Then shall the man bring his wife unto the priest. That's us. That's the priest in the UPK. And he shall bring her offering for her, the 10th part of the ephah of barley meal. He shall pour no oil upon it, nor put frankincense thereon. Hold on a sec. For it is an offering of jealousy, an offering of memorial, bringing iniquity to remembrance. All right. So for that, this is what you want to do. You want to come to the priest, but you want to be paying your tithes. You can't come to the priest and you ain't paid the lick of tithes. All right. You ain't keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. Don't come to the priest if you ain't doing that. Make sure you're paying your 10%, your tithes, and you come before the priest. You bring her wife unto the priest. In this situation, she may not come nowhere near the priest. She may not come nowhere near you. She got a new man. All right. She done moved on with him, which is the proof that she was sleeping with another man. But you would bring the child that's in question to the priest. Okay. You could bring the child to the priest. And we're going to tell you this. Get a DNA test. All right. Back then, we'd have to figure it out another way. But now we got DNA tests. And it's not unlawful to get a DNA test. Verse 16. And the priest shall bring her near and set her before the Lord. All right. And then it was something that the priest would do. They would get the dirt off the ground of the temple and pour it in water in a cup and make her drink it. If she spit it up or she becomes sick, she's a fucking adulterous whore. If she swallow it down and she don't become sick, then she was innocent. All right. But this is where the Lord will come into play. All right. So you have to go get a DNA test to be for sure. But don't be afraid. You have to get into it, man. Put up that money. I think it's like $100. Hey, call the Maury Show. They probably do it for free and fly you out somewhere. But either way, that DNA test will be crucial in determining who's the father of that child. All right. The DNA test will be crucial. Okay. Until then, see the baby once it's born and make a decision from there. If you want to support the baby up until the DNA test, you can do the DNA test, because it's going to be months before you could probably do the DNA test. They can't do it probably right out the womb. They got to give the baby a chance to, settle in before they start taking blood. I don't know the exact procedure, but you want to find out as soon as possible. And based on how the child looks when it comes out, if it look like you and you kind of feel like, oh yeah, this is probably mine, you want to start supporting that child, making sure that child has what it needs, and making sure that woman understands that if she puts you on child support, you're going to just pay the child support, and you're never going to come see that child. All right. And that child will never have a good father who's there because you chose child support over having a father. You make sure she understands that. You either get me and my resources, or you just get my resources through the child support and you don't get me, because I'm not coming to nothing. I'm not picking a child up from nothing. I'm not helping babysit. None of that shit. You know what I mean? You chose child support, and that's what you're going to get. So you make sure that's clear so she don't put you on child support. That's the point. And then you have to co-parent with that African. You understand? You chose to be with her. That's who the baby's with. You have to co-parent. Get some visitation rights and get some rights. And Lord will, you can get strong enough. You get a new woman, a better woman, an Israelite woman through the Israelite School of UPK. And then you get custody of your child, and you get full custody. That's what I would do. I would want that for my child. I don't want my child being raised up by no Africans. They doing that African dance, that old stinking African dance all day. Nah, I want to. I'll take my child and go hit the road, and I'll give me a new wife to help me raise the child and be the new mother, and that's it. That's what she trying to do to you. I know people think, oh, that's cold, that's heartless. What are you talking about? That's what she trying to do. She trying to take that child, run off, put you on child support, get your money, and have a new man, and have your child calling a new man daddy. So fuck that shit. Excuse my language. Fuck that. I ain't for that. You know what I mean? I'll be getting my custody of my own child, raise him up like an Israelite with a new mother that wants to follow the Most High and start and raise your family. She can go have kids with that dude she was cheating on you with. Go have kids with that dude and go make a family with him, and he could be, y'all can run and do y'all damn thing. Take me and my child out of the equation. Now, if it's not yours, then you're free, and you can just go ahead and move on with your life and be, and you don't have to deal with that. All right. So, but yeah, that's shoot, like the brother said, true. Yeah, that's what the women be trying to do. They ready to take a child and move on with a whole new man, a whole new family, have you all the way out there. Hell no. See, so you go ahead and get you a new woman, a better woman, an Israelite woman. And you make it so that, that child gets raised up in Israelite culture. We'll change the song real quick. Okay. So yeah, so that's where we at with it. You understand? Black men should be more focused on getting custody of their own child and creating a new family. In the Israelite culture, that's not a big deal. You understand? Get you a new wife, better wife, get your children from that wife, and the man that she decides to sleep with, she could go make a family with that nigga. You know what I mean? She cheating on you, going to sleep with some other man, with the mailman or whatever. That's fine. Go ahead and make a family with that nigga. All right? Because a lot of the new hustle nowadays is the child support hustle. Women have a baby with or anybody, all types of people they want to, and then just try to throw all of them on child support. Have 4 kids by 5 different men, and it got all these they got 5 child support cases open. You only got 4 kids. How does that work? That's a hustle. Women see that as a way of living now. So it seemed like the baby isn't born yet. So that's what you're gonna have to deal with. Wait till the baby come out, and then you're gonna move forward. All right. Sidebar question: do I pay tithes as a young man? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You understand? You want to pay tithes as soon as you learn about the truth. You want to be not only a hearer of the word, but not only a hearer only, but a doer of the word. Okay? So don't be a hearer only, be a doer of the words of the Most High. So you hear the truth about paying tithes, then you want to be a doer of the word. So yes, you pay tithes as a young man, no matter who you are. As soon as you learn that the ISUPK is the priest of the Lord and you have to pay 10% tithes, start paying. All right. If you really want to be blessed, pay more than 10%. But 10% is the requirement of the Most High. But like I said, if you really want to be blessed, you're going to give more. That's what I'll do. And the Lord bless the hell out of me. All right. Because I give more than 10% to the Israelite School of UPK. Happily do it. All right. The scripture says don't store up riches on earth where moth and thieves doth corrupt, but store up riches in heaven where thieves don't break through and steal, and moths do not corrupt. Store treasure in heaven. Okay. And how you store treasure in heaven? That means that's when you put your money on the Israelite School of UPK. You pay your tithes and put donations on the school. That's treasures in heaven. How's that treasure in heaven? Because only the Lord can bless you from that. You put something on earth, you get blessed from on earth behind it. You buy a car, you blessed on earth by driving that car. You buy food, you blessed on earth by eating that food. You pay your light bill, you blessed on earth by having lights. Rent, such and such and such and such, and so on and so forth. But when you put it on the ISUPK to the priest, when you get that money as a donation to the priest, you get your blessing from heaven. All right, your blessing is stored in heaven. It ain't stored on earth. It's stored in heaven. All right, and that's amazing. That's what you want. That's next level. Okay, there ain't a requirement. You ain't got to put on no extra. Your requirement is 10%. That's the bare minimum. That's what the Lord requires, is 10%. All right, and you keeping the laws behind that, and the Lord be with you. All right. But man, but as far as me and mine, I'm hot for the Lord. I'm not lukewarm. I'm not hot or cold. I'm hot for the Lord. So I almost all my money goes towards the truth, goes towards raising up our people, goes towards this teachings, goes towards building the schools, teaching the knowledge, getting brothers on a level. doing the work of the Lord. That's where all pretty much 100% of my income goes to. As much as I could spare. All right, let's see what else we got in the comment section. Envy not your oppressor. Number one law, Hebrew Israelites fail daily. I don't know what you're talking about on that. We are the Hebrew Israelites in the Israelite culture coming out the ISUPK is the farthest thing from following the oppressor, which is the white man. You understand? Everything we do is about Israelite culture is basically against the white man. All right. The way we look, the way we dress, the way we talk. You know what I mean? It's all against the oppressor. So we're definitely not envying the oppressor. Envying would imply that we following or that we think is great somehow. When the oppressor believe in polygamy? The average white man does not believe in polygamy. The average white man does not believe in black men being in charge. All right. Down to our beards and our hair, down to everything. All right. We don't follow and we don't envy the oppressor. What does the oppressor have that I want? What does a white man have that I want? He don't have my black wives and my black women and my black sisters. He may have some whores. But what does the white man have that I want? That the Lord is not going to give to me. You understand? At the end of the day, the Lord is going to bless Israel, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans with what we want and what we need. Envy and the oppressor is never been a part of the equation coming from the Israelite School of UPK. He said Eve's first sin, envy. I don't know what you're talking about. Shalom, warrior. Trooper Yahar. Shalom, Lord Christ. Okay. So, yeah, type your questions in. Any relationship questions, we're going to get ready to wrap it up. But I'm going to just speak on what some of the brother questions was earlier. You're not required to be in a child's life that you're paying child support for. Okay. Child support is wrong and wicked and evil. Child support is one of the white man's many plays to destroy us. What does child support do? Child support is a crutch. As opposed to, if there was no child support, what would black women who have children have to do? If they really love their children and they wanted what the children needed, their children need food, clothes, and things like that. And they're good mothers and they wanted that, they would have to operate peaceably with that black man that they had a child with. Child support ruins the relationship between a black man and a black woman. Because now you have a situation where a black woman can be totally disrespectful, totally out of line towards a black man and still try to get the resources from him. Can keep him from seeing a child. It tilts the type of negotiation of respect. In a negotiation, when you're co-parenting, the father has something, the mother has something to bring to the table. Together, they make a balance. Child support tilts and ruins the balance and destroys the balance and puts the woman or the person who filed child support, mainly the woman, because they're the only ones who filing for that bullshit, puts them all the way up here and puts the balance of the black man all the way down here. Ruins the balance in the relationship. Ruins it. And the white man knows this. That's why he pushes child support. You try to get food stamps and you got a child, they're going to be saying you need to put that man on child support to get food stamps. Okay? So, brother made a strong comment. He said child support helped keep the family broken. Exactly. That's exactly the point of the child support. It is for keeping the family broken. Because like I said, instead of a balance of power between the man and the woman, where they have to, the black man can't do this, he can't overstep his boundaries too far, because it'll mess up the relationship and the balance. The woman cannot step out of line too fucking far, because that'll mess up the relationship and the balance. But the child support throws it all out of whack, where there's no balance, there doesn't have to be respect, there doesn't have to be cooperation, there doesn't have to be none of that. And the woman could just try to take the resources from the man through the child support. And then not only that, if the man is short on the bills and whatnot of the child support, it criminalizes him. He becomes a goddamn criminal of the state, which is the point, what the white man wants. He wants more black men stuffed up and piled up in the prison houses. That's what he wants. So if he makes it where, okay, behind on the child support payments, he can lock you up. That is like a double whammy. Now you're not a father to that child. That child don't have a father. And now you're in jail. And now you're going to lose your job. That's another thing about child support that most people in the world, I guess, are just too slow to understand. But if you put a black man on child support and he gets arrested for not paying the exact amount that they want, he loses his job and goes to jail. Now the child is not getting no money at all. Let's say the child support, he's short. Okay, he gave half the child support. Okay, look, you're supposed to pay $200. He gave $100. Shit, that's helpful. Let's use that $100 to get some food and some clothes for the child. But if he goes to jail, he's not giving no money. So child support is it's like, we're too stupid to realize that the child support is doing more harm than good. And that's the scriptures say we are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because we don't even have the knowledge to say, look, this man, I may have a child with a man who has no money. Let's say you have a child with a man who has no money. He's not giving you nothing. Only money he has is to keep himself with food in his stomach and clothes on his back. Any other money he doesn't have. He just has enough money to barely make it. He's not giving you nothing. You're mad. I want money. I want this. I want that. He got a new woman. I'm mad. I put him on child support. That's retarded, because he goes to jail. The child has no father. If, let's say the other way around, he has nothing but time and energy to give, and fatherhood and guidance and stuff like that. All he do is just sit on the couch. It's better to have a man sitting on the couch when them kids get out of school, you at work, at least they have an adult that's at home that can protect the home. Most of these children go home and there's no adults at the home. They go home and they're by themselves for hours until their mom get home because she's at work all damn day. Guess who wins? Who wins in that scenario? The pimps, the gangs, because the gang's going to recruit the children. The pimps are going to recruit the girls. The streets are going to recruit them. The homosexuals going to recruit them. The pedophiles are going to recruit them because they have nobody at home protecting them. You're better off having a man broke as hell sitting at home on the couch. At least he can go to the parent-teacher conference. You got all these damn teachers talking about we have trying to speak to the parents. We have a parent-teacher conference. Only five parents show up out of 5,000 kids. That's because of fucking child support that everybody thinks is so damn great. That man can be sitting on the couch with no job, with no money. All he's doing is being a babysitter and going to help them kids with their homework and walk them to school and pick them up from school and make sure he talk to the parents and teachers and disciplinarian, but he had no money to bring to the table. That's better than child support. That's 1,000,000 times better than child support. Child support, he goes to jail. There's no parent to discipline, watch them, no father, and they're not getting anything. Even if he were to come up with some extra money every now and then, even if it's not consistent, a brother come up with an extra $20, $30 to get some things together. Once a week he may come up. That's better than just a person in jail. So black women are been bamboozled and fooled to think child support was actually some type of answer or reprieve to this hell that we're in, because we're in hell. So everybody's trying to look for a solution, and everybody's like, okay, well, let's do child support. That's like a solution to help us in this hell. It's not. It's going to make it worse. Let's go on to the next question. Koi Jamal Dunwall asked, are we allowed to have more than one wife? Let's get it. See, let's let the scriptures talk. Let man walk and let the scriptures talk. Let man walk and the scriptures talk. Exodus 21:10. Exodus 21:10. If he take him another wife, that's it right there. That break it down right there. If he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish. We're gonna break that whole scripture down. But off top, it's letting you know, if you take another wife, Abraham had more than one wife, David. And these were righteous men in the scriptures. You allowed to have more than one wife. Okay, let's just break that off the top. Okay, but if you do take another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish. So basically, in most people, a lot of people think, if you got multiple wives, you better have enough money to take care of all those wives. Each one better have her own car and her own house, and better be this and that. They need to shut up, because they just talking, and they're not going off of nothing. They're not going off no biblical text. They're not going off no culture. They're not going off no ancient knowledge. They're not going off of shit. They're just talking and saying and talking out the side of their neck, basically. And I know in I think Islamic culture, it's like each wife got to have equal everything. Like if one wife have a Toyota Camry, every wife got to have a Toyota Camry. Some stupid shit like that. It's just retarded, because the Muslims don't follow it, and they're just doing whatever they want to do, like Christians anyway. But the actual truth of the matter is, her food and her raiment and her duty of marriage shall ye not diminish. So to break that down, you have one wife, you get another wife. All right, you're sleeping with two women. All right, they're both yours. You cannot stop sleeping with both of them. All right, in Christian culture, you have one wife, you get a new wife, you divorce the old one and move in with the new one and live with the new one, and you and the new one is it. And the old one, she just shit out of luck. She just got cheated on and kicked to the curb and, treated like shit. That's Christian culture. In Israelite culture, it is not so. Okay. In Israelite culture, you have to keep sleeping with both of them women. You cannot divorce one and then live and stay with the other. So if you're sleeping with this wife 3 times a week, not that you have to just automatically, have to stay 3 times a week or whatnot for the rest of your life. You have to keep sleeping with her, though. You cannot be like, oh, I'm done with her. I ain't going to see her in months or nothing like that. You can't do that. The new one you got to sleep with, and the old one you got to sleep with. And you're not even the old one. The first one you got to keep sleeping with. You got to keep loving them both and sleeping with them both. Her raiment and her duty of marriage and her food. You cannot take the food or the clothes from one wife and where she doesn't have food and clothes and give it to the other one. Okay? In the pimping culture, that's a big thing. All right? In pimping culture. In pimping culture, taking a woman's clothes is real big. So like a woman gets with a new pimp, the old pimp brings all the clothes to the new pimp and, basically transferring of hoe with the clothes. So basically in Israelite culture, we don't do that. We don't get a new wife and take all the clothes that you bought for her and give it to the new one. Like, nah, I bought all this stuff for her, but this is mine. I'm taking it and I'm giving it to my new one. We don't do that. That's pimping culture is like that, but not in Israelite culture. All right. That one got her clothes and her food. This one got her clothes and her food. You cannot say, nah, I'm only going to bring food and I'm only going to put money in this house over here with this woman. And that woman, she just shit out of luck. Now you can't do that. You got to make sure both of them have what they need when it comes to food and clothing. All right. And nowadays, women in Israelite culture, women are big parts of making their own money or making money for the man. All right. So both them women should be earning money so you can make sure both of them have what they need. All right. So that's what you call, it's not no official term or nothing, but what some brothers call black collar worker. All right. You got your white collar, your blue collar, and your black collar. White collar guy, he might work in an office, wear a suit and tie every day. Blue collar worker, he may work with his hands. Mechanic, truck driver. He's getting it in with his hands. Now you got black collar. Now that's a man who may have a wife or two or three or four or five or whatever, however many. And he basically manages those women. That's his job. He manages them. He keeps them on point spiritually, sexually, physically, emotionally, on all levels. He keeps them together where they are happy and content with life and they have direction. They know they're good. That's black collar work. And best believe that is work. It is work to have multiple wives. It's not like, all fun and games. You got multiple personalities, you got multiple emotions that you got to deal with throughout the day and throughout the week and throughout the month and throughout the year. And you got to juggle all that. That's what some would call black collar work. You understand? Which is you loving them women and teaching them women and guiding them women, which is honorable. Okay. That is honorable. Okay. So you are to sum that all up. You are allowed to have more than one wife. That is totally Israelite culture. And it's not ever going to stop being Israelite culture. Even in the world, that's Israelite culture. Okay. Your daddy did not only have one woman till he died. I don't see who do you expect? Which man, even if you, especially a young man, you got some 22-year-old kid, you expect him to sleep with one woman for the rest of his life until he dies and never get another woman? Come on, man. How many 22-year-old kids, how many men, period, are going to go for that? Now, I see maybe it was, some brothers, it's fine. They do that just fine. But a lot of brothers, may need more than one woman to, for them to, really, brothers have energy. Brothers have high sex drives. You know what I mean? Brothers have, high mentals. So they may need more than one woman to, fulfill them. You understand? Which is perfectly fine. If you just need one woman, that's fine as well. No women, that's even better. Stay fulfilled with just doing the work of the Lord. All right, let's do the next comment. Where is Armin at? Asked, why are the majority of prideful ladies argumentative on always being right? What you, my friend, have brought out is something that's in the scriptures. That is in the scriptures. I'm gonna get it for you. Isaiah. Hold on a second. I think it's Isaiah. Let me double check. Isaiah 3:1. Let's start at it's like Isaiah 3:16. Moreover, the Lord saith, this is what the Lord said. You saying, and the Lord is saying what he's gonna say here. Because the daughters of Zion are haughty and walk with stretched forth necks. All right. Haughty. Let's look up the word haughty. All right. And get the definition of the word haughty, and I'm gonna read it. The Lord said, Black, Hispanic, and Native American women, especially Black women in America or women in America, are haughty. Haughty means arrogantly superior and disdainful. Some similar words are conceited, snobbish, stuck up, vain, proud, pompous, egotistical, smug, okay, full of oneself, snooty, puffed up, uppity, cocky, big-headed. All right, too big for one's boots, too big for one's breeches, puffed up. That's what the Bible says. You saying majority of women are prideful, they're argumentative. Yeah, the Lord's saying that. It's biblically that they're like that. Because it's wrong for them to be like that. That's why when you read the next verse 17, therefore the Lord will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion. That's that alopecia. That's their hair is short and falling out. And the Lord will discover their secret parts. Okay? All their different things they do to try to make themselves look good. In verse 24, and it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there shall be stink. And instead of a girdle, a rent. And instead of well set hair, baldness. And instead of a stomacher, a girdle of sackcloth, and burning instead of beauty. Pride come before its fall. So no matter how prideful certain black women become, they are going to learn the easy way or the hard way that they're going to have to humble their fucking selves. They're going to have to humble themselves, and they should learn to be kind and be effeminate and be ladylike and to be sweet and to keep the laws, statutes, and commandments, and to be humble and to be discreet, not all pompous and loud everywhere. No, they need to learn to be discreet. All right, keepers at home instead of running the streets. Guess what? They're learning that during this coronavirus pandemic. They're learning that they're gonna have to sit their ass at home. All right, can't run the streets in the clubs no more. Concerts and everything. There was Isaiah chapter 3, starting at verse I think 12. All right. Where his armor at said, religion is easy to me because I practice my religion. Yet the ladies of this generation try to make the world more feminine and suppress the male's masculinity. Damn right they do. And that's not only women. The women get that from the Christian churches. The Christian churches are pushing to make black men more feminine. Okay? That's what's going on. All right, we pretty much at the time. We pretty much at the time for the night. You understand? But what the brother brought out was heavy. You understand? Masculinity is key. Masculinity is everything. Masculinity, when coupled with the following of the laws, statutes, commandments of the Lord in the Israelite School of UPK, is going to fucking take over this world. It's going to be the power of this world. It's going to be the what this whole world looks up to. Okay? So, we definitely have to look forward to that. Like I said, my name is Captain Kaposh. This is Take Ground Radio. Take Ground Breakdown, Matrix Sessions. Time to wake up from the Matrix. Get right with the Most High. Change your life. Get with some brothers near you. Get with a school near you. Go to www.isupk.com. Find a school near you. Get with the brothers and sisters there. You sisters also. And start learning the truth. Learn the truth from scratch. Learn it in person with other brothers, interacting, getting all of it down right. You understand? Learn the truth. Repent. Time is short. Time is at hand. You understand? It is high time that we wake out of sleep and get right with the Most High. Okay? And with that said, we're going to play this song. And shalom.
That's the only motherfucking missing that. Who I be? Crime apart, never south. Break these bitches off. Get one through your stomach, through your damn meal figure. One breast, nothing but soldiers and real niggas. Let my eyes get to. Kiss the motherfucking booth to play my picture. If you ain't an Israelite, then I don't fuck you. Passing flyer through the bar, baby, you can take a picture. When they see us at the mall, then we breaking down shit. Do it for the 12 tribe blood of an Israelite. When them devils start to die, we gon' ride. Blessed by the Most High, we gon' break the sky. When them white babies run, throw them off in the fire. Bury me a motherfucking priest when I die. UPK one rest, you know that's the lie. Fuck the other side, we don't fuck with you kind. If cop get the order and we gon' take ground. UPK, don't forget it. One West, I'm living, yeah. This for all my niggas, brothers and sisters, yeah. Feeling unstoppable, cause you know the Lord is with you, yeah. Breaking down scripture, that's the only motherfucking mission, yeah. UPK, don't forget it. One West, I'm living, yeah. This for all my niggas, brothers and sisters, yeah. Feeling unstoppable, cause you know the Lord is with you, yeah. Breaking down scripture, that's the only motherfucking mission, yeah.
That is bleak.
He won't stop, yeah. He won't stop, yeah. Blessed by the Most High. With my motherfucking locks, how you gonna stop it? You with what on me? Won't stop, yeah. He won't stop, yeah. Blessed by the Most High. With my motherfucking locks, how you gonna stop it? You with what on me? Solana on my arm, we won't stop. Setting up zones, taking back the block. They don't wanna know what we be like. Home of the truth in the bed, gon' what? Giving the word, making this move. We can't stop, we can't lose. At school, starting new. One way school, lace your boots, call it the truth. I can go really straight out the damn zoo. Fuck with the I cannot pop to do. Everybody tryna be a Hebrew, yeah. Who they fucking with the one West? I don't know nobody in the flesh. Up in the news, we talk to the press. I'll put the sword to your neck. Who next to flex? I suggest you stay out the way. Won't feel like every day. Hey, one way to PK. Hey, ain't no other way. Hey, he won't stop. Yeah, he won't stop. Yeah, blessed by the Most High. With my motherfucking locks, how you gonna stop it? You with what on me? Won't stop, yeah. He won't stop, yeah. Blessed by the Most High. With my motherfucking locks, how you gonna stop it? You with what on me?
One West. Niggas don't make me sweat. One West. These niggas don't want no flex. One West. These niggas ain't built for the stress. One West. Pull out the yapper, get wet. One West. These niggas ain't vessel with your flesh. One West. The bullet niggas bang on the chest. One West. Off the fucking line, get checked. One West. Why you wanna lose your breath? One West. You niggas don't make me sweat. One West. These niggas don't want no flex. One West. These niggas ain't built for the stress. One West. Pull out the yapper, get wet. One West. You niggas ain't special with your flesh. One West. The real niggas bang on their chest. One West. Off the fucking line, get checked. One West. How you wanna lose your breath?
All about the UPK, to the East we pray. Welfare every day, drive we don't play. Them niggas fake, them niggas fake. Not this way, I'll catch a case. I won't hesitate, I'll break your face. White man I hate, world be a better place when they drop dead. Hit them with the lead, in my soul red, war scarf on my head.
One West, you niggas don't make me sweat. One West, these niggas don't want no flex. One West, these niggas ain't built for the stress. One West, pull out the yapper, get wet. One West, you niggas ain't vessel with your flesh. One West, the real niggas bang on their chest. One West, off the fucking line, get checked. One West, why you wanna lose your breath? One West, you niggas don't make me sweat. One West, these niggas don't want no flex. One West, these niggas ain't built for the stress. One West, pull out the yapper, get wet. One West, you niggas ain't vessel with your flesh. One West, the real niggas bang on their chest. One West, cross the fucking line, get checked. One West, how you wanna lose your breath? One West.